think we're ready. Okay, I'm going to call the meeting to order. 6:02. And can we please rise for the pledge of allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The district statement, commission of the Exeter West Renfrew School District is to empower students to dream, reach, and succeed. The open forum is a 3-minute time limit for individual, 15-minute maximum time allowed for the open forum. Comments must be directed to the chairperson of the school committee who may limit or terminate the discussion. No comment should address personnel, litigation, or negotiations as restricted by the open meetings regulations. The school committee cannot take action or vote on topics that are introduced that are not reflected on the agenda. Oh, is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak? No? So Jim will go to the consent.
Okay, under consent, we have the approval of the regular meeting minutes from August 23rd. We have a couple of appointments. One is the last minute classroom that opened up in grade 6, and then an athletic appointment. We have a leave of absence that came in the day before school started. We have a retirement, and that was anticipated. We knew about that last year. Our monthly bills, and then a series of homeschool approvals, including the 3 that are on the supplemental agenda detail that Robin provided.
Does anyone want to pull anything? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second. Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
As the correspondence, we had one. August 24th, memorandum from Jim relating to the change in PE status.
That was also based on a resignation that came in the week before school started for our teacher that we know that there are no certified individuals in the state available. And so we just switched up the offerings at the junior high school as an elective teacher.
Any questions? If not, the monthly status reports that were closed. I was just very happy to see the AP test results. They were really good.
I have a few questions, but I'll have you recognize Andy.
I just wanted to congratulate the teacher of the year, Meredith Daughter, Councilman for Support Professional of the Year, Allison Haynes, and a new award champion of Leadership Award, Billy Drew. We should congratulate them and tell them they can proud of our work and dedication to the kids in our school.
Thanks.
All right. So I have 3 questions. Junior high floor, I lost track of the status on the junior high gymnasium floor. Over the summer, the original plan was to rip it out for the reasons that we discussed. Did that proceed?
No,
It has not started yet because we had to extend the bid. We had difficulty getting people in to bid the project because we had a compressed timeline on that. So we extended the timeline and then put it out for a rebid, which will close on Monday. So,
So roofs, if I remember correctly, we were gonna do those during session. The junior high floor, we were gonna do in the summer. Presumably because that's the obvious time to do that kind of work. If somebody answers and fulfills, the bid requirement, what would we do that next summer or would we do that during the school year?
yeah, we kind of extended the timeline to the end of the 2024 year. So it would be summer work.
Summer, okay, all right.
Mhm.
So I'm square on the rest of it. Is that the greenhouse being built over there?
That's the parking renovations, adding the additional parking, and then they're also clearing the space for the greenhouse as well.
So I'm still going here. Test scores, I looked at the test scores, I called them for the Department of Education. And they were to help me through, gave me a little bit of information. I noticed that, for SATs, English, right? So we did meet the overall test score of 517, right? So that put us in the first half of acceptable testing levels, right? You have four testing evaluations based on your SAT scores. And math was top half. Math was bottom half. English was the top half, but I did notice that 41% of our students, according to the SATs, or I should say according to the Department of Education's SAT evaluation tool, said that 41% of our kids don't meet state standards for ELA. So even though I got it, I can throw it. So even though we're in the top half based on SAT overall aggregate number of 517, according to this, only 58.5% of the children at the high school meet or exceed expectations for ELA. Got it here.
So I don't have any of the numbers in front of me because
I got it here. But, and I'll show it to you after the meeting. So that leaves me with 41.5.
So if I could finish, I don't have the numbers in front of me. Those test scores are not reflected anywhere in any of these reports because what you're looking at is last year's scores.
That is true.
The new scores, which we did a presentation on shortly after those results came out
That was my question.
we did that. The new scores, we are expecting in October.
Correct.
So I don't have anything in front of me to be able
I
to
understand.
address this. And this was it.
In other words, I heard the presentation. It takes me a while to verify these things. And he seemed rather optimistic with the 517 score. But the fact is that 41%, this is the latest. This is the 2021, the latest published score. I'm not asking. I'm just saying. 41% did not meet state standards for the So I think that was a little alarming for me, but the new test scores, I understand, are coming out in October, according to the Rhode Island Department of Education.
And Mr. McFadden, just to make sure we stay, her Open Meetings Act laws on the agenda. With discussion, especially with the superintendent not having materials.
I didn't ask him, I was
I
making a
understand,
statement.
but it might make sense to make it an agenda item at the next meeting where two birds with one stone would be killed.
No, I understand that, but for me to speak freely about this under reports, there's nothing wrong. I don't see that as a violation. I'm merely bringing to the attention of the committee test scores, right? Test scores that I cleaned. Sure. All right, so if we had a discussion, I would say agree, but I think Mr. Aronakis is speaking to me and I'm inclined not ignorant. But I was bringing to his attention the fact that 41% of kids at the high school at the 11th grade level can't meet ELA standard.
Best practice would be to put it as.
Department head stated that things were really good. I didn't think so.
My suggestion is put it as an agenda item.
I don't want it as an agenda. Because the news work coming out in October, and I'm sure Ms. Larranalis will present to me the evidence, but I wanted them to be aware of that. I thought that this needs to be put in. So the third thing that I had was that there was a request from the commission to all the districts regarding behavior, professional behavior of students, teachers within their district. So this came out as a result of the April thing in North Kingston. So at this point, I wanted to know, what are you gonna do with it, Clay?
I just want to make the chair relevant on our agenda or anything, I wish we'll believe that to continue with all the discussion. It's not in our agenda, it's not in the packet. Why is it, why would allow? It's not in our agenda.
I didn't hear what she said. It's not unusual for Ms. Penny and me not to agree on anything.
But this is not on the agenda, actually.
Well, I'm not gonna parse the agenda by millimeter here. This is a matter that has come before the public, right? And it's a concern of mine. Right? So I'm not asking for a dialogue. I'm making the committee aware that this report was requested by the Commissioner of Education regarding professional conduct of teachers in each district, or district. So that's going to come up in the future. I'm not going to parse every millimeter. I hate being interrupted by the other members, which I consider illegitimate reasons because they don't like me personally. And I take great exception to this. This has been going on for 15 years. So, there's an easy way to do this. Sorry.
On the agenda, no.
Moving on to new business then. The National FFA Convention and the Northwest Trend.
So the information is included in the packet. We also have Mrs. Millar here this evening if there are any questions. And I think one of the students who is highly interested in this as well is Tilde.
Yes.
Okay. In case you have any questions.
Oh. Did you want to speak to this at all?
I just wanted to say how excited we are as a community to be able to represent Rhode Island on a national level. Katie Kodak has done a great job in training the team. I'm going to be accompanying them out there. We have a practice this Saturday in the Eastern States Exposition. We'll be up against teams from New England. Some of the big one will be in Indianapolis. And the kids are pretty excited about it. We're in the process right now of raising funds to go and work out how to get.
Oh, that's great. That was my concern, because it's expensive.
Yes.
I hope you can.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Does anyone have any questions?
Like my water, Madam Chair.
Yes.
I requested a subject to be put under new business back in July, and it's you to show up on the agenda, to provide me an explanation as to why it didn't show up on the agenda. Well, so long as nobody in the membership bothers me, I asked for the subject regarding Rhode Island General Law 3028, I forget what it was, be placed on the agenda. It's regarding
Okay,
Sure.
we have a motion. Well, we don't, so that when we.
oh, okay.
No, So I'll entertain a motion to sanction student travel to the National RFA Convention competition in Indianapolis as presented. I'll make that motion. All those in favor?
Thank you.
Thank you. Very much.
So we're back up to the committee. I don't have to, you know what I'm talking about.
It's general law 30.
I'll give you the very. When I have, I'll send you an email and I'll send it to you as well. And I'd like that to appear under new business at the next meeting. All right, thank you. That's it.
You can ask for last week, well, then I'll, did ask them if you put on. Put it on. I was just asked by the superintendent if I knew what that was about. I indicated that Mr. McFadden did ask me about a particular general law prior to last week's meeting. I do, or last month's meeting, I do remember it being mentioned, but if we're going to put it on the next agenda, that's great.
And I think the only material that needs to be present from me, since I'm requesting on the agenda, is the law itself. In other words, the material presented to the committee will be the law itself. A copy.
It's not on tonight's agenda, so it would be obviously. That's my suggestion to Mr. McFadden as well as the chair is when you forward a copy of the general law, or the site of the general law to the chair, you may, if I could suggest, you give what you intend to have discussed that day, so it can then be put in the agenda appropriately, so public notice is adequate.
I will put on the question that I have for you so that you may prepare for that for whoever represents your firm.
Sure. Okay. Please let us know.
All right.
Good.
And that will be basically it. I mean, the law, I think, in the language of the law is obvious.
And the return to school update.
So I don't really have any new items. I think my status report had a lot of information about the start of the school year. I will just say that typical of the past couple of years, we have had a small spike in positive cases since we returned. We are monitoring, and I'll be able to report on a regular basis where we stand. The last couple of years, after the little spike at the beginning, it kind of leveled out for a period of time before the holidays, hoping that the same thing will happen, but I'll have specific numbers for you for the next meeting. Hopefully.
Unfinished business, capital project update.
So as we have already mentioned, the capital project schedule had to be pushed out because there was no activity from bidders. So we extended the timeline for projects to be completed at the end of 2024. And we've had a much better response. We have quite a few bidders on the general contractor package. Yeah. So I know of at least 7 that were going to be submitted bids. So we'll have the bid opening on Monday, and I'll have more to discuss at the next meeting. But as you can see, the site work project is underway, and the project manager for the roofing company has been out to Walla Woman Metcalf to kind of examine, where the work would be done, and that is supposed to be done in November, as far as I know. It was like the latest date that they could push it out before the weather turned. So that's where we are with that.
Okay, important dates and meetings. Tuesday, September 27th, school committee meeting. Tuesday, October 11th, school committee meeting. And Tuesday, October 25th. school committee. And then we were going into executive session briefly. So I'll make a motion to move to executive session at
22.
6:22 in accordance with RIGL 42-4 and 42-46-5, 42-46-582, CBA C94 Teachers Association negotiation discussion action and/or pending potential litigation, legal advice, specifically Exeter Group Hall residency dispute, discussion and action. Second. All those in favor? Everyone.
All right, I'm gonna end the live stream. If there are any votes taken in executive session, I'll report them in the YouTube comments.